I found this story where it shouldn't have been, and once you hear it, it doesn't let go. They thought they were digging into the past, but what they found wasn't extinct, it was just waiting to wake up. If you love terrifying stories about creatures in the dark, science gone wrong, and ancient nightmares clawing back to life, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You've just stepped into another bloody chapter. In the frozen wastelands of Siberia, where the sun barely rises and the wind sounds like screaming, a powerful company called Virion Industries had built the deepest ice drill ever made, their public goal. Climate research. But privately, Virion was after something far more dangerous, a hidden cave system sealed beneath the earth for over 200 million years. What they didn't expect was for it to be alive. At 2 miles down, the drill broke through the ice and dropped into a massive underground void. It wasn't just an empty cavern, it was warm, glowing, and filled with strange plant life that moved on its own. The ground pulsed, the walls sweated, the air tasted metallic like blood. They named it the Pocket. At first, the team was amazed. Everything down there was alien but somehow familiar: bioluminescent vines, floating spores, giant mushrooms that hissed when touched. Some plants even seemed to react to voices. It was like stepping onto another planet. But the deeper they explored, the more things felt wrong. On day 2, one of the engineers, Pavel, didn't return from a mapping walk. They found his helmet lying in a patch of glowing moss, the glass cracked and covered in something wet. There was no body, just long drag marks disappearing into the black. That night, the power flickered. People began hearing things, whispers in the caves, clicking sounds overhead. Motion trackers picked up movement in areas that were supposed to be sealed. Cameras showed blurry shapes running across the walls and ceilings, too fast to follow. Dr. Mara Kelvich, the lead biologist, ran tests on the air and found something terrifying: parasites, microscopic spores that could enter the human body through breathing. Once inside, they didn't just kill, they rewrote DNA, changed the host into something else, something stronger, and not human. Then people started changing. One scientist, Yusef, began acting strange. He'd stand still for hours, stare at the walls, mutter things like, "She sees through me and we are becoming." Then one night he disappeared. The next day he came back smiling, but it wasn't him. His skin twitched, his teeth looked wrong, too sharp, too many. And when he spoke, it sounded like two people talking at once. That night, security footage showed him walking into another team member's room. And no one ever saw her again. Panic spread fast. The deeper they were in the pocket, the less human they felt. One man tore off his fingernails, screaming about something crawling under his skin. Another was found banging his head into the wall until his skull split open. And something small and black slithered out of the wound and disappeared into the pipes. Then the creatures came. They weren't dinosaurs, not like that anymore. They were something older, twisted by time and isolation, blind but with perfect hearing, long limbs, sharp claws, and skin that shimmered like stone. They didn't roar or scream. They stalked, waited, struck without warning. The team set traps. None of them worked. The parasites were even worse. They didn't just kill, they totally copied it. One crew member, Lynn, was found alive after disappearing for 2 days. She was quiet, calm, until she opened her mouth and a second voice came out, deeper, inhuman, whispering, "The matron is awake." That's when they realized the truth. The pocket wasn't just a cave, it was a womb. At the center, buried in fungus and glowing roots, was a creature the size of a house. The matron, a guiding force, a living hive, birthing parasites through the air, the water, even sound. She wasn't hunting them. She was preparing them, turning them into something new. Virion knew this was never about science. This was about control. Weaponization. The perfect parasite, able to think, to mimic, to spread. The last survivors, Mara, Captain Rowe, and Engineer Lin, tried to blow the tunnel and seal the pocket forever. But it was too late. The matron had changed the cave. It shifted like a living maze, closing off exits, splitting them up. Rowe was taken first. His screams echoed. 4 hours, Lin was next. Or maybe she never survived at all. Because Mara later saw her or something, wearing her face, smiling from inside the queen's nest. Mara never escaped, but someone did. 2 weeks later, Virion received a distress pod launched from the Arctic rig. A single survivor inside, silent, eyes wide open. She was taken to a private facility for study. The doctors didn't realize what they were dealing with. Not until the lights started flickering. Not until the walls began to sweat. Not until she started to smile. If this descent into prehistoric horror sent chills down your spine, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more stories where monsters are real and the past refuses to stay buried. This was Paleodon, and this was another bloody chapter.